Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about estuaries. That's our biome of the day. When we talk about estuaries, we need to keep in mind that they're going to be found near the coast. They're areas of tidal origin, part saltwater, part freshwater. When you look at estuaries, you have four major types. Number one is a salt wedge estuary. That's where mainly all the salt water stays at the bottom, freshwater on the top. B, a partially mixed estuary, and that's about what it says. You have part freshwater, part saltwater. C, a vertically stratified estuary, and that's where the salinity changes from left to right, not top to bottom. And D, a ford, mainly a landmass blocking some of the water flow. Estuaries are found all around our coasts, so therefore they're pretty important in our ecosystems. A lot goes in and out of them. And within our estuaries, we have many ecosystems. One is marine, that's mainly saltwater. You find ocean creatures there. A bay, primarily muddy flats. Pretty important for phytoplankton, really. There's a good penetration of sunlight, can grow these producers. A riverine system, that's mainly just your rivers, of course a little bit of freshwater, or saltwater rather, and a slough, and that's basically all stagnant saltwater, not a whole lot of movement there. If we look in these ecosystems, we find all different types of organisms, really. Here is an example of the life cycle of a shrimp. As you can see, an estuary is quite important to this life cycle. The larvae hatch and they go into the estuary to seek safety from predators. You see here a bird species. There's home to a lot of different species, really, but the birds are quite interesting. Most of them have these long legs, cranes and herons and such. And these long legs that they can walk around in the water and tall grasses and muds. They also have long beaks, specialized so that they can reach down and just grab a fish out of the water. Birds are, of course, what you're going to see because they're above the water first. You got ducks and herons and such. There's a lot going on below the water, too. Many crabs, oysters, clams. Whenever you go to a buffet, a lot of that food is coming from an estuary. If you look also, you're going to find different worms and detrital organisms that decompose dead fish. But what's really interesting about the estuaries are the plants. It's quite extreme environment, really. A lot of salinity. Water is always there. So you're going to have what would normally be a flooding sort of system for most plants. These plants thrive on. If you look here at this picture, you see that's basically one species of grass. You don't see a whole lot of variation there. That's because only one species of grass can survive there. The salinity is so high that it would burst the cells in other grass. If you look at this chart here, you can see that increasing physical stress is going to lead to less species variety. If it's a really tough environment, only one species is going to be able to live there. Whereas whenever there's all sorts of room for different species, you're going to have increasing competition and in turn have a variety of species. So that would be what would be most specialized about our estuaries is the grass and the mangrove trees. And so we have different organisms that make their environments in those. Estuaries are very crucial to our country as a whole. A lot of industries go in and out of them, and to the world and its biomes.